Good morning, America. Sprint to the finish. The candidates looking for momentum. Vice President Kamala Harris releasing her medical report, pressuring Donald Trump to do the same, putting the age question front and center. Trump campaigning in California, attacking Harris on her home turf. Plus, the results of our new ABC News Ipsos poll on the state of the race.
Disaster declaration for hard-hit Florida, unlocking extra assistance for communities ravaged by Hurricane Milton. President Biden visiting today as we see new evidence of the immense damage. Homes swallowed up by a giant sinkhole. More residents rescued as Governor DeSantis addresses a severe gas shortage in parts of the state.
Caught on camera, a deadly home invasion.
We're checking for gas leaks.
Robbers posing as utility workers, allegedly killing a homeowner, tying up his wife. The new development overnight and the urgent manhunt for a suspect this morning.
The future of shopping. Amazon and Walmart using AI, looking to enhance customer service. What you can expect the next time you're looking to press that buy button.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. Why are you looking at me like that?
When Pennywise was on there, the face you made.
Because I don't do scary movies. I'm like,
either.
It gives me bad dreams. We are so excited because this morning is a dream to have Rachel Scott in with us. We always say we're excited when someone else is in, and we always are, but like this is so joyful.
I'm happy to be here with both of you. Count me in for GMA, count me out for the scary movies, okay?
Oh. Amen. Amen. Yes,
I guess
absolutely.
I'll watch them alone.
She is here in for Wit and a very busy sports Sunday. The Liberty and the Lynx go head-to-head in Game 2 of the WNBA Playoffs. That's going down here in New York City. Very excited.
Yes, it is. And there is so much going on this morning, including the IV fluid shortage due to Hurricane Helene hitting that factory in North Carolina. At least one major hospital system is putting off some elective procedures because of the tight supply. We'll have more on that just ahead.
But we do begin here on your specialty, the campaign trail, with just 23 days to go before Election Day. Former President Trump in Arizona today, Vice President Harris in North Carolina, and that is where we find ABC's MaryAlice Parks this morning. Good morning, MaryAlice.
Yeah, Gio, good morning. This is the second time Vice President Harris has been to North Carolina since the state was hit hard by Hurricane Helene. The impacts of that storm could be a real wild card in this race. And she made some news yesterday, releasing her medical records and calling out former President Trump for not doing the same. Vice President Kamala Harris overnight packing supplies with volunteers in North Carolina for those in the state impacted by Hurricane Helene. And meeting with Black community leaders, she hopes will rally support for her campaign.
Not yet, my dear.
This weekend, the vice president also releasing her medical records, including details about her allergies, her vision, and her family's medical history, including maternal history for colon cancer. The signed letter from her physician concluding she's in, quote, excellent health, ending she possesses the physical and mental resilience required to successfully execute the duties of the presidency. 20 years younger than her opponent, Harris calling out former President Trump for not being as transparent.
It is clear to me that he and his team do not want the American people to really see what it is that he is doing and whether or not he actually is fit to do the job of being president of the United States.
Harris pointing out, too, that he also would not agree to debate her again. Trump's communication director pushing back, writing that he has maintained an extremely busy and active campaign schedule. But his team has not released any medical records recently. Not even from the medical team that treated him after the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania in July. Trump this weekend barnstorming western states with back-to-back events in Nevada and even in Harris's hometown of California overnight, threatening that if elected, he would withhold federal disaster aid to the Democratic state unless they adopted policies he liked.
If you don't do it, we're not giving you any of that fire money that we send you all the time for all the forest fires that you have.
Trump also claimed the country had been invaded and with increasingly violent language, falsely casted all immigrants as hardened criminals.
Our criminals are considered extremely nice by comparison to the people that we see. They'll cut your throat, and the next morning they won't even remember. This is what they do.
Now, those comments from former President Trump about disaster aid obviously coming as there's been so much conversation about getting relief to those impacted by those back-to-back storms. The White House has been calling Trump out for what it says is spreading false misinformation. And look, we are just over 3 weeks until Election Day, but early voting has already started in many states, and it starts here in North Carolina on Thursday. Janae?
All right, just over 3 weeks to go. MaryAlice, thank you so much. And of course, part of why it's a joy to have Rachel here is because she is out on the country, so all around the country with the campaigns, traveling with them. Rachel, we have a new ABC News Ipsos poll out this morning. What are some of the key takeaways?
Yeah, Janae, Gio, this race was close. It is even closer in the final stretch. Now just 2 points separating Vice President Kamala Harris from former President Donald Trump. Harris still has the edge in this race, but when we last did this poll in September, she was ahead by 5. So Donald Trump really closing that gap. It is a dead heat in this final stretch. We know that the candidates each have their core issues, right? So for Donald Trump, it's immigration. For Vice President Kamala Harris, it is abortion rights. But now we're getting a snapshot on where voters stand on these issues with just about 3 weeks to go. So 56% of Americans now favor deporting all undocumented immigrants. That's up 20 points from 8 years ago. Trump's still leading on immigration. Then on abortion rights, Harris does have the edge on this critical issue, but that same number again, 56% saying the federal government should restore access to abortion to what it was before the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. And look, you mentioned it. I've been out all across this country, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Colorado. The number one issue I hear from voters is the economy. And Trump still has the edge on this key issue. Harris has to make some more inroads in this final stretch on that.
And that's because it affects everyone, all the families at home when they open their refrigerator, all of those things. Rachel, thank you so much. It is a joy to have you here. And tune in to This Week later. Martha Raddatz goes one-on-one with Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance with just 23 days to Election Day. Plus, Martha speaks with Kentucky's Democratic Governor Andy Beshear about the state of Kamala Harris's campaign. Gio.
All right, Janae, we're going to turn now to the breaking news overnight. The shooting near Tennessee State University. At least 1 person killed, 9 others injured following homecoming activities. And ABC's Ike Ajachi is here following this story. Good morning, Ike.
Good morning, Gio. Several college communities are celebrating homecomings this time of year. Unfortunately for the TSU community, the fanfare was cut short by more senseless gun violence.
Overnight, tragedy striking at homecoming weekend celebrations at Tennessee State University, with 1 person killed and 9 others wounded in a shooting. At least 3 of the victims are believed to be children, ranging between the ages of 12 to 14 years old. Rauf Muhammad was working as a vendor at the homecoming event when the gunshots rang out.
People were screaming and crying and talking about the loved ones being shot or whatnot.
Authorities believe the shooting involved 2 groups of people who opened fire.
It was 2 groups of people who were beefing, and they opened fire on each other with a crowd around.
Police also saying at least 1 of the injured was directly involved in the shooting. A 55-year-old woman is in critical condition, but all other victims are expected to survive.
Just not a good thing when a handful of people can cause this type of disruption for an entire community.
Now, according to police, 2 possible suspects remain at large. This investigation is ongoing. Rachel?
All right, Ike, thank you. We turn now to the damage still unfolding after Hurricane Milton. Just take a look at this video. A giant sinkhole opening up, nearly swallowing 2 homes. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is in Lakeland tracking the latest. And Jacqueline, President Biden is set to travel to the state today.
Rachel, good morning. That's right. You can see half of this house has literally been swallowed by this massive sinkhole. Back there, you can see a pickup truck, a backyard fence, and multiple trees, with the neighbor's house on the verge of collapse.
This morning, urgent rescues in full effect after Milton battered the Sunshine State.
I'm going to help you guys, don't worry.
Watch as the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office pulled this family and their dogs to safety from the rising floodwaters.
It's okay, Pop.
Officials confirming more than 1,600 people and at least 140 pets rescued after Milton's death toll rises to at least 16 and spawned nearly 40 reported tornadoes. More than 1 million residents remain in the dark. We embedded with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's search and rescue team after they received nearly 3,000 calls for service in a single day after the hurricane hit.
When you look at this neighborhood and you see the water, what really stuck out to you over the last few days?
The part that rocks you to your core is the fear that they went through, knowing that, am I going to live or am I going to die?
President Biden headed to Florida today to tour the damage after approving an emergency disaster declaration for the Sunshine State, unlocking additional aid for recovery efforts. Take a look at this stunning drone footage. 2 homes in Lakeland, Florida, about 30 miles east of Tampa, nearly swallowed by this sinkhole.
I just zoomed my flashlight into it and I was just shocked because I'd never seen nothing like that before.
Across the state, drivers frantically searching for gas and waiting in long lines. Fuel tankers escorted by Florida Highway Patrol to deliver much-needed supplies. Governor Ron DeSantis announcing new fuel distribution sites and delivery of generators.
When you have power out at gas stations, you can't pump fuel. When you have ports that are interrupted, they don't get the shipments in. So we have a lot of fuel that we brought into Florida to be able to help get people through the patch.
And again, you can see the roof line basically below ground, the garage collapsing in on itself as homeowners are now forced to navigate insurance claims and FEMA assistance. Janae?
Incredible, that image behind you, Jacqueline. Thank you for your reporting there. Turning now to the fighting in the Middle East as Israel's invasion in South Lebanon expands and Hezbollah launches hundreds more rockets at Israel. ABC's James Longman joins us live in Beirut with the very latest. A lot going on, James. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Janae. 5 UN peacekeepers have now been injured in South Lebanon as Israel's operation there expands. The United Nations is accusing Israel of directly firing at its positions in the south, injuring its peacekeepers, damaging its buildings. In this instance, they say one peacekeeper was shot. He is currently in the hospital in a stable condition. They're at pains to say they're not sure where the gunfire came from. For some context here, there are some 10,000 peacekeepers in South Lebanon across some 45 stations, and they were put there in 2006 at the end of the last war between Lebanon and Israel. No armed groups were meant to operate. Hezbollah did not abide by that rule. They've been continuing firing rockets, drones, missiles into Israel. As we know, Israel has responded, but these peacekeepers are finding themselves in the crossfire. So some 40 countries that make up that mission, they've issued a statement condemning these incidents, asking for an investigation. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, he's spoken to his counterpart in Israel. This morning, Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking. He said that he thinks that these UN peacekeepers need to move north, evacuate, but it's not in Israel's power to ask that. They are there mandated by the UN Security Council. Meantime, Israel's operation is expanding. They've issued an evacuation notice to some 23 more Lebanese villages, but it's so difficult for people to know where to go, where is safe, how are they meant to get out? And so often clinics and refuge centers are also targeted. And some 2,200 people have now been killed in this conflict, more than 600,000 displaced. Rachel?
James, those numbers are just staggering. We appreciate your reporting. Thank you. We turn now to the urgent manhunt that is underway in Michigan. Police say an elderly man was murdered inside his home, and authorities believe the suspects were posing as utility workers. ABC's Perry Russum joins us with the latest on the investigation. Perry, authorities say those suspects were caught on camera. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Yeah, they were caught on a doorbell camera, Rachel, and police arresting one of the suspects yesterday, hundreds of miles away in Louisiana. And the sheriff with a clear message to their second suspect: we will find you.
Or DTE.
This morning, an urgent manhunt in Michigan.
We're checking for gas leaks.
Police are still searching for one of the 2 men they say posed as utility workers to gain entry to a home where they allegedly killed 72-year-old Hussein Murray, then tied up his wife with duct tape. The scene so gruesome, investigators say it's still not clear how Murray was killed.
It's tragic and horrific on so many levels.
Investigators say Murray was found dead on Friday in his Rochester Hills home, an upscale neighborhood 30 minutes north of Detroit.
We're checking for gas leaks.
The men seen here, claiming they were from a local energy company checking for gas leaks, showed up Thursday night. The homeowner's Ring doorbell camera capturing one man wearing a vest, what police say was a fake ID badge, even flashing what appears to be a phony company letterhead to the camera, all while covering his face. That night, the men were not let in, but police say they came back the next morning and were allowed inside. Murray escorting the suspects to the basement, where police say he was killed.
We believe that they were specifically targeted, that it wasn't a random thing knocking on random doors.
The sheriff says Murray was the owner of a local jewelry pawn shop. Neighbors are in shock, telling us Murray, who went by the name Sam, cared about his community.
I would want people to know Sam and his wife as family people. I think that's where their pride and joy was.
And Murray's wife is now out of the hospital. The energy company says their hearts go out to the victims. And some advice from the sheriff. He says do not let anyone inside your home unless you are 100% sure they're supposed to be there. Gio?
And let's hope that they find those suspects quickly. All right, Perry, thank you so much. We're going to turn now to a GMA health alert. The CDC reporting levels of whooping cough in this country are higher than we've seen in a decade. So let's go ahead and bring in ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton to talk about this. Good morning. Thank you for being here. We are really seeing a surge right now. What is going on?
So the numbers are the highest we've seen in almost a decade. So we're talking about a respiratory infection, Gio. This starts off as a cold-like symptoms for maybe 1 to 2 weeks and then progresses to the second stage, which we call a 100-day cough. These are coughing attacks, can sometimes make patients vomit, and those who are most at risk are those under the age of 1. But I just want to show you some of these numbers. Just here in 2024, we've surpassed 17,000 cases.
Wow.
Now that's more than we've seen last year, around 3,000 cases, and this cycles every 3 to 5 years, but right now we're certainly in a surge.
And that sounds so miserable when you talk about those 100 days of coughing.
Yeah.
Obviously, parents want to know, how do we protect our kids?
Well, number one, vaccinations. Vaccinations are the most effective way to protect against this infection. It's caused by the pertussis bacteria. Now, this is the common vaccination that we give kids between the ages of 2 months and kindergarten. It's about 5 doses, and for adults, it's every 10 years. But the most important are pregnant patients. In their 3rd trimester, we encourage it mainly to protect, again, the most vulnerable, which are children under the age of 1.
Okay, so in the 3rd trimester. All right,
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barry.
Of course,
Really
hand washing, masking, all of these other things
All the
protect
things.
against respiratory viruses as well.
And I'm sorry, you know I wasn't going to let this end without getting a question in because you know little baby is not yet 1. Okay, this is included in their standard vaccine, so I don't
Absolutely.
need to ask for
You don't need to ask. And then we also believe in cocooning children. So those kids who are not fully vaccinated, the word cocooning means surrounding them with vaccinated individuals. So that's how we best protect against, for those specifically who are most vulnerable.
So caregivers should also.
Absolutely, I believe so.
That
as
was
well as
2
be
questions.
trained in CPR.
I needed to know.
And there were better questions than I asked,
And
so
I'm
thank
taking
you.
that home, texting my husband now. We appreciate otherwise I would have texted you later to ask. Thank
sure you would have.
very much, Darian. It is great to have you. And it is time now for the weather. And Danny Beckstrom, it is great to have you from WABC, our station right here in New York.
Jenny, you can text me for the weather anytime, right? Anytime. We want to start with record heat. Yesterday, records fell several spots across the Southwest. Phoenix, 104, 101 yesterday in Tucson, but even Peoria at 87 degrees. And that heat is holding and now starting to shift east. Every area circled could see a record high today. That's 99 in Dallas, 101 in Austin today. But I want to head back out west. Phoenix, a forecast high of 102. If that holds, it'll be the 20th consecutive day, breaking a daily high temperature record with 1 more to go. That means tomorrow in Phoenix, we could see 3 consecutive weeks with daily high temperature records every single day. Looks like things start to cool off a little bit as we head into the middle of the week. I bet out west they are so done with this, right? We're here in New York. We've been enjoying the lovely feel, but we're cooling off too. I'll have more on that coming up.
Chilly,
yeah.
We're going to text you for the weather.
Yes.
We're going to text Dr. Darian for some medical tips. And we all need some help texting somebody for sports. So let's turn to Major League Baseball, why don't we? The matchups are set. 4 teams now have their eyes on the World Series, but only 2 are going to get there. ABC's Melissa Adon has more. Melissa, help us out here.
Good morning, Rachel. Please text me for the sports because I am going to be at this game tonight here in LA because we are in the height of baseball postseason. Now, we now know who's going to face the New York Yankees for the chance to win the American League Championship. And then, yes, head on to the World Series. We're getting there closer and closer. The Cleveland Guardians are now advancing to the ALCS. They were victorious Saturday against the Detroit Tigers in their decisive Game 5 in Cleveland. And the Guardians may just be that October surprise at the 5th inning. An incredible play by Lane Thomas hitting a grand slam, helping the Guardians win 7-3 over the Tigers. Just remarkable there. Now the Guardians are now set to play the Yankees in their first game tomorrow at Yankee Stadium. And now over to the New York Mets. They're going to be traveling out west to LA to take on Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers tonight. That's for Game 1 of the National League Championship. The Dodgers beating the Padres Friday night in a Game 5 win, and the Mets on top. Them after ousting the Phillies. Now the Mets, check them out. They're in the midst of an exciting season. Some may even say it's lucky between shortstop Jose Iglesias' "Oh My God" song. And then there's Grimace, yes, the McDonald's mascot. he's now being seen as a turnaround symbol for the team. Talk about some unexpected lucky charms that the Mets are seeing. Well, that game is tonight here in LA at the Dodger Stadium. And guys, for my fellow New Yorkers, as you may dream of a Subway series, we all know that the West Coast is the best coast.
Oh,
guys,
those are fighting
I second
words.
that.
Yeah.
California girl over here. I second that.
Oh my goodness, Melissa, thank you. If you guys could have seen what was happening behind the scenes here as Melissa
Any
was talking.
predictions? Any predictions, Rachel?
I cover politics. I learned a lot during that segment.
Yeah. Rachel was over here doing this, and I was like, oh, does she need help with what camera she's on? No, she was trying to figure out like the sports and
making sense of it all.
The Guardians, whether that was a ride at Disney World, you said.
Sports team also.
She does it all, except maybe sports. We love you, Rachel. All right, still coming up here on GMA this morning, retail's AI bet. How giants like Walmart and Amazon are hoping to leverage artificial intelligence.
And yay, sports! NFL Week 6. ESPN's Herm Edwards joins us to break down the big games, including the Monday night matchup between the Bills and the Jets.
I can't wait for that. And of course, Halloween Horror, a brand new rundown of the best horror films of all time. Can you guess which comes out on top? We'll be right back.
No. See, we don't need Pennywise right now. But welcome back to GMA on this Sunday morning. Do thoughts of Pennywise keep you up at night? Or maybe it's Chucky, maybe it's Michael Myers, even Beetlejuice that freak you out? 'Tis the season to be spooked. Coming up, Will Gans is going to join us to take a look at Variety's list of the 100 best horror movies of all time. Test our knowledge of the very dark subject.
Just the music gets me.
That music?
But
what is
why
that?
was Pennywise doing that dance?
That's what Pennywise does.
That little jig. Is that really what
Yeah.
Pennywise does? That's creepy.
You really don't watch horror movies.
I don't. All right, let's take a look at some of the other big stories that we were following on this Sunday morning. Happening right now, a nationwide manhunt is underway for a suspect wanted for shooting an off-duty Jacksonville Sheriff's Corrections officer at a Florida truck stop overnight. Authorities say the suspect shot 24-year-old veteran Brad McNew from his black Mustang with North Carolina plates during a domestic dispute.
Also right now, North Carolina officials confirming that for the first time in more than 2 weeks, water is finally flowing again in the city of Asheville. Residents there have been living without water since Hurricane Helene ravaged that area more than 2 weeks ago.
And two-time MVP Breanna Stewart and her New York Liberty teammates are looking to bounce back in today's game 2 of the WNBA Finals against the Minnesota Lynx in Brooklyn. The Liberty lost game 1, 95-93 in overtime last Thursday. And you, of course, can watch all of today's action right here on ABC starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. You're going to be there today.
Yeah, me and Hubs. It's like a mom and dad day date.
I love that. All right. All right, we are going to start this half hour here with the retail wars heating up now following those October mega sales and ahead of Black Friday. Amazon and Walmart are now introducing AI into the picture, and ABC's Zohreen Shah has more on what it means for customers. Zohreen, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Gio. Yeah, it's an exciting time for some of this tech, and AI is completely changing how we shop.
Deal or no deal? That's the question many retail companies are trying to answer as they roll out AI-powered tools to improve the shopping experience.
It's definitely a brave new world.
With millions of shoppers trying to land the best deal possible on the website, Amazon's new AI chatbot, Rufus, is trying to help bargain hunters. And Wired senior reporter Will Knight says Amazon is constantly refining, and there's so much more Amazon is working on to possibly put out in the near future.
Their AI may be able to predict what you want to buy and put it in your cart and perhaps even ship it to you so it just arrives.
He says in the era of AI, only a few companies with a huge amount of data will have a major advantage.
That's the likes of Amazon and Walmart.
And just a few days ago, Walmart launched a personalized AI assistant that knows who you are when you're on their website. It can even create personalized shopping experiences. And starting next year, it can even make a custom homepage for each person.
Companies, retailers have to get into this because it looks like it's the future of their industry.
Sam's Club is also getting into the game too, using artificial intelligence to take a photo of the buyer's cart at select stores as they leave, matching the items in their carts to their receipts. If everything matches, the customer passes. Sam's Club parent company Walmart says it takes fewer employees in the checkout area and makes the store exit process much faster.
If a company's using AI and is able to recommend new products, maybe get you to the shopping, get you to buy stuff more efficiently, even just a few percent, that's a huge deal.
And Walmart telling us in a statement it hopes customers can more easily find exactly what they want or get AI-powered recommendations when they're unsure. And guys, the holiday season is coming up. Will with Wired says it will be a big proving ground for some of this tech. Rachel.
I always wait till the last minute for my holiday shopping, so I'll take all the help that I can get with making that Christmas list. All right, Zohreen, thank you. We turn now to the shortage of key medical supplies following Hurricane Helene. One major hospital system now pausing some elective procedures because of those tight supplies. ABC's Ike Ajachi is here with more. Good morning, Ike.
Good morning, Rachel. The ripple effects of Hurricane Helene are now beginning to compromise the nation's healthcare system. The hospital system releasing a statement saying in part, as healthcare providers continue to confront the national IV fluid shortage following Hurricane Helene, Mass General Brigham has made the difficult decision to defer non-emergent elective procedures. Hospital administrators say the deferment will be in place in order to conserve IV fluids for the most urgent patients. Now, the postponement begins today and will last until Wednesday. The decision about future surgical procedures will be made on Tuesday. Now, the IV fluid shortage was caused by Hurricane Helene's floodwaters, damaging the hospital's supplier, Baxter International in North Carolina. The facility produces roughly 60% of the nation's IV fluid supply. Now, the fluids are essential for keeping patients hydrated, as well as treating blood infections and administering chemotherapies, among other uses. The shortage affecting hospitals across the country. The CDC issuing a health advisory informing healthcare providers nationwide to assess their supply and develop plans to lower the impact on direct patient care. Meanwhile, Baxter says they're increasing their distribution of IV fluids in stages with the goal of allowing customers to get 90 to 100% of their allocations by the end of the year. Guys?
Yeah, just another ripple effect 2 weeks after that storm hit. All right, Ike, thank you. And time now for a check of the weather. Hey, Danny.
Hey, guys, do you want to see some beautiful fall foliage?
Gorgeous.
Yes, please. Does it look like I'm in a Hallmark movie? That was the goal. We're going to take you near Aspen here. This is the Roaring Fork River. Beautiful fall foliage starting to peak, and it looks absolutely spectacular. Here in the Northeast, it'll start to feel a little more like fall. Starting first with rain chances. It's a soggy day at Lambeau for the Green Bay Packers game. Rain for most of the day and showers over through Detroit. It looks like a wet start to the Monday morning commute in Buffalo. But then that front clears the area and the colder air sets in behind it. We're looking at the coolest temperatures so far this season in New York City. We're talking highs 10 degrees below normal by the middle of the week. Check out some of these lows in the 20s for upstate New York. Tampa even seeing sub 60 low temperatures by the middle of the week. What do you think, guys? Are you ready for the sweaters?
We are ready. 100%. The sweaters, the boots.
Yeah, the more layers you wear, the more you can eat. So I'm totally ready.
Can we just go in tight on her shoes real quick?
Oh, can we do it?
Yeah, look at the Wizard of Oz situation. I love it.
If it looks like a 12-year-old would buy it, I have it already.
That is hilarious.
Stylish.
Thank you, Danny.
As we take a look at week 6 in the NFL with lots of great matchups. Back again, ESPN football analyst, veteran head coach, and our favorite man to talk to on a Sunday, Big Herm Edwards. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I know you had a little one. Make sure carnation milk. He's a carnation baby. Just make sure he's a carnation baby.
Carnation baby. Okay. What is that? Some old uncle advice you got?
Yep.
Yes.
That's for the smooth skin.
Okay, carnation baby. Okay, duly noted, Uncle Herm. All right, let's start with the battle of the Beltway. The red-hot Washington Commanders, they travel north to face the Ravens in Baltimore. Your guy, quarterback Jaden Daniels versus Lamar Jackson. He's good. What can we expect in this one?
Well, you can expect a high-scoring affair. Both these teams can score the football. Washington is scoring 31 points. The Ravens are at 29. But really, for both these quarterbacks, it puts a strain on your defense because of the things they can do when they leave the pocket. And both these teams are going to be stressed defensively, trying to keep these quarterbacks in the pocket. I do think the Ravens probably at the end win this game because they can run the football. With Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, the Washington run defense is not very good. So I think it's going to come down to that. Who can run the ball the best? And right now, the Ravens can do that.
All right, Coach, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. They're taking on the Detroit Lions this afternoon. But the Cowboys, they've been winning. So what do the Lions need to do to stop them?
Well, I think if you're the Lions, you've got to stop the Cowboys from running the football, which they don't do a lot of, actually. They throw the ball a lot. That plays into the Lions' hands. Hutchinson leads the league in sacks, 6.5. they can get after the quarterback. So if you're the Cowboys, you need to try to run this football. Because if you go there trying to pass the football against the Detroit Lions, you're playing into their hands. So I kind of like the Lions because they're physical and they can run the football, and Dallas Cowboys have a problem stopping the run on defense.
Everybody loves a good rookie story, so let's talk about them. The rookies from both the Saints and the Patriots. Who are you keeping your eye on?
Spencer Rattler. Because he's a guy in college. I actually recruited him when he was coming out of high school. He likes to leave the pocket and make plays that are off the script. But he's going to have to learn how to play in the pocket, similar to what Caleb Williams was doing his first couple weeks in the league, and now he's starting to play from the pocket. So can he stay in the pocket and beat you there? Playing off script sometimes is good, but at the end, it kind of hurts your offense.
You know what, Herm? We've had nothing to say back to your answers because we don't know nothing about this pocket you're talking about.
Run the ball.
Or anything else.
Talk about the carnation.
You know what? The pocket is real simple. Imagine you're the quarterback. You sit right where you're at and play quarterback from there. Don't start running outside the pocket and trying to make plays like you're playing in the schoolyard.
Right.
Just stay in the pocket where they can protect you.
That's exactly what I thought. Right. I was still stuck on carnations, too, and thinking that he meant flowers initially. Okay, it's time to update our Who's with Herm numbers. Here's a look at the scoreboard. Whit has 4. He'd be proud of that. I have 3, as does Herm. Gio, it is no surprise, but such a shame how bad you are at this. So looking ahead, the Jets and
even
Bills.
Rachel.
That's embarrassing. I'm so sorry.
Hey, Gio needs a lifeline. He needs a lifeline. Give him a lifeline.
He does.
Throw him something.
Okay, so the Jets and Bills, they've each lost 2 games in a row heading into Monday night. Who's your pick, Herm?
I'm going with the Jets.
He's going with
with the Jets. I think their defense will pose problems to Josh Allen because the Buffalo Bills, they don't really have a lot of explosive plays on offense except for Josh Allen running the ball. And the Jets' defense is very good. They can get after the quarterback. They sacked the quarterback 18 times. So I think this is a get-back game for Aaron Rodgers. But the Jets need to run the deadgum ball some.
And
Aaron Rodgers
they just
the last
had
2
all
weeks.
that coach drama this week.
Yeah, but there's always drama. It's New York.
Okay.
Stop. It's drama.
I'm going with the Jets this time, too. I'm with Herm.
You're going to get a win.
Herm, do you want to change your answer?
Yeah, no, Gio waited until he gave his answer. And then he's getting on. Okay, Whit phoned in his pick. He's going with the Bills. He's hoping for an explosive play. So we'll see.
I'm going with Whit in the Bills.
Okay.
We'll see.
Uh-oh. Just make sure it's Carnation Baby Milk. That's all we need is Carnation Baby Milk.
Carnation Baby.
Thank you, Coach Carnation. We appreciate you. We'll be right back here on GMA.
And back now on GMA, helping you get into that spooky, scary mindset ahead of Halloween. We got the music to help. And we also have ABC's Will Gans, who looked at Friday's list of 100 best horror movies of all time and created a little quiz for us. We did not do well on sports. I'm hoping that we recover here, Will.
That's right. If you thought Washington, D.C. was scary, get ready for this quiz,
Dun,
people.
dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. Variety listed the top 100 horror films. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 77, this ooey gooey horror movie from 1958 features a title song by Burt Bacharach with the lyrics, "It creeps and leaps and glides and slides across the floor.
Oh.
Beware."
That's way before my time.
The Blob.
Oh, The Blob. Never saw it.
Ooey gooey. I was trying to help you guys out. Well, it's just like your football score. Big old goose egg. Moving right along. At number 68, The Sixth Sense features one of the most quoted scenes in all of horror films.
I see dead people.
Oh,
That's a point for Gio. What 4-word sentence did Haley Joel Osment whisper to Bruce Willis? Give it to us with the emotion.
I see dead people.
Perfect. Extra point for conviction there. All right, number 3. Variety's 25th best horror film is 1996's Scream, featuring which famous actress getting killed by the infamous Ghostface in its opening scene?
Tommy's going to kill me for not remembering this.
I'm drawing blanks.
She was also in 50 First Dates. She was also in E.T. She hosts the talk.
Drew Barrymore.
There you go. Point for Janae. All right, number 20 on the list. This modern horror movie earned writer-director Jordan Peele an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay in 2018.
Get Out.
Yes.
Get Out. Okay.
We got that at the exact same time.
I did not. I was ahead of you.
There you go. We'll give it to Janae.
You have no competitive spirit. You said it's a tie. No, it's not.
You gotta fight for what you want around here. All right, we're getting up to the nitty-gritty now. Number 2 on the list of the 100 best horror films ever. The Exorcist, starring a young Linda Blair playing a possessed girl. What was her name in the movie?
I don't want to watch that.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Is it Alice?
Nope. A president had the last name, a famous Republican president in the 80s.
Wait.
Reagan.
Reagan. I was like,
yeah, that's what we're looking. Number 1, by the way.
I know. I was.
Number 1, by the way, was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay, gotcha.
There you go.
Thank you, Will.
I think I won, right?
Yeah.
You did. All right. And that does it for us. Catch us on ABC News Live later. I'm going to be there.
Have a great week. You guys, thank you for being here with us.
Yes.